seems like every comic book movie gets a sequel these days, there are a few that we're still waiting for. One of those films is the 90s goofball superhero who helped make swing a thing again. The Mask was a massive hit when it first came out, and was part of a string of films that made Jim Carrey a household name. So you would think a sequel would be a sure thing. Well, we had to wait 11 years to end up with one of the worst films of all time. Well, it's time for a third try, and bring back an older Carrey while we're at it. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen was a film so bad it made James Bond quit acting. However, it's easy to forget that it's based on an actually really great Alan Moore comic. It's time to give this series a second chance with a more comic accurate version. Plus, it's not like the first film didn't have an unanswered sequel tease at the end. If nothing else, the Green Hornet reboot gave us a much trimmer Seth Rogen. However, while the more comedic take on the 60s series failed to capture an audience when it was released, the world is still filled with potential. A sequel could go back to what made the original show special. Poor Andrew Garfield still stands as the only theatrical Spider-Man not to have a third entry. It's time to change that. While The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was a pretty big disappointment, Garfield's appearance in No Way Home reminded us of his Peter's charisma and heart. Of course, if we're handing out Spider-Man sequels, how about finally making Tobey's elusive fourth entry? Give Maguire back the web slingers and let him finally fight Dylan Baker's Lizard. How about a little 90s edgelord flavor with Todd McFarlane's Spawn? The first movie was a box office disappointment, but Michael Jai White has proved since that he is loaded with charisma and humor. Let him have another turn at the Hellspawn. If we're really wishing for something, then it's the third entry in Del Toro's Hellboy series. We are still waiting to see if Hellboy's right hand of doom will bring about the apocalypse. Keanu Reeves' Constantine may not have been very comic accurate, but the adaptation still managed to capture the spirit of the series. Plus, Keanu was so great as the jaded, chain-smoking paranormal expert. The real travesty in comic adaptations right now is that the amazing and inventive 2012 film Dread has yet to have a follow-up. Let Urban put on the helmet again. Finally, the only MCU Phase 1 feature to have no direct sequel. The Incredible Hulk may have been a part of the setup of the MCU, however the big green guy is yet to have a second solo feature. The Incredible Hulk has decades of stories, and many of them would make a good follow-up.